Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. And for today's video, what I have for you today is going to be a very interesting one. What if Naruto was a crusader, or to be more specific, a holy knight? Now, where we start this off with a 10-year-old Naruto. 10 years old. We just did the wave arc, they came back, all of that. They did the tuning exams, and all this. Naruto beat Gaara, using the Taka no Jutsu, or... I think that's how you say it, right? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Let it be. But yeah, he defeated Gaara, all of this stuff. And now we are currently where Naruto is about to go retrieve Sasuke after Sasuke went and betrayed the leaf. Now, a little bit of background. Naruto has been hated by most, if not all, of Konoha. Even after all of these good deeds, people really didn't see him as doing good. They saw it rarely as him just being a weapon. So they never really cared what type of deed he did. So anyway, as one, Naruto goes to retrieve Sasuke. Naruto is being beaten up pretty badly. And this is after when Naruto has been training with Jiraiya for a little bit, so Naruto is a little bit stronger than Sasuke in this. So we come to the Valley of the End. And right as Naruto and Sasuke are about to collide, Naruto says, "Shoot, I don't want to hurt him that bad. I guess I can hold back a little bit." So yeah. Oh wait, hang on. Gotta take a quick drink. I'm starting to get better, guys. But I may cough every now and then. But I'm starting to get better compared to last video. So yeah. As Naruto and Sasuke collide, the Rasengan if you look very close, the Rasengan is overpowering the Chidori. But Sasuke gives it a little bit more oomph, and it overpowers the Rasengan for only a moment, but the Rasengan is victorious. So yeah. Anyway, as we see Naruto with a Chidori through the chest, or close to his heart. It's really close to his heart, like a few centimeters away from striking his heart. In fact, not one Chidori strike, but 3. There are 3 strikes of Chidori piercing his shoulder, piercing his stomach, piercing right next to his heart, which I just explained. So in the shoulder, it went in between the space, in between the armpit and close to the shoulder. So it burnt the bone and sheared off a couple of shavings of bone dust off. So yeah. And for the stomach, it didn't really piercing anything vital for survival, but it did do some damage. It did do some eternal damage, but that'll get healed up pretty quick thanks to Ninetales. So after this, Naruto would, well, bleed out. Well, not entirely. No, he wouldn't really bleed out, but he's starting to bleed out. So he starts to clench his stomach and starts to put fire chakra, or what looks to be like fire, onto his stomach, and it cauterizes the wound shut. Same thing for the shoulder, same thing for the heart. Or on the chest. Same thing for the chest, shoulder, and stomach. He cauterizes the wound with the chakra. I gotta say, the versatility of the chakra in the Naruto verse is quite impressive. You guys gotta admit it. The versatility of chakra and what its uses are pretty impressive. But yeah, enough about that. We get back to what is important here. As for Naruto or Sasuke, he looks pretty beaten, like beaten up and bloodied bad, but he's not as worse as compared to Naruto. Naruto has a few broken bones here and there. He has a punctured lung thanks to one of his broken ribs. He has a black eye. He has a few cut marks and gashes going onto his face. A lot of scratch marks on his back. A bunch of lightning starch marks on his back, face, and chest. Overall, Naruto just looks absolutely worse than Sasuke could ever get worse, been beaten. Like, it looks like the entire village has just been wailing on Naruto and not letting any mercy, you know? Like, nobody is giving Naruto mercy. That's what it looks like. Like, it absolutely looks embarrassing and disrespectful. So, yeah. Anyway, as Naruto is starting to black out, like he is starting to black out, like his eyes are dropping, he's very hard, like it's very hard for him to stand up and stay conscious. Like he's using chakra to amplify his brain, like he's forcing his brain to stay active with chakra, like he's forcing it. Like if you look at him, you can see the chakra marks starting to go to his head. Or should I say, you can start seeing veins going all around his body trying to push the chakra by force into his head, keeping him awake. He is trying his best to stay awake. But it is very hard for him to do so, as he's starting to stumble and like one point he's carrying Sasuke back to the village and he's almost about out of breath. He stumbles a bit. He nearly falls onto the ground unconscious, but he forces a ton of chakra to his head, keeping him awake again and forcing chakra to his legs, arms, and body, reinforcing the muscle with his chakra. Now something very dangerous will happen if he keeps doing this until he gets to the leaf. So you're gonna see what's gonna happen very soon. So yeah. As when this happens, the Anbu see a boy carrying another boy who looks beaten. But when they look at the boy with the blonde hair, he seems pretty relatively fine. But the boy on his back is beaten and bloodied. So they take him away and see that it's Sasuke and Naruto. They say, "What happened, Naruto?" Naruto says, "Mission success is what happened." As they take him away from Naruto and say, "We'll handle it from here, Naruto." As Naruto says, "Oh, thanks." and they ask, is he okay? Naruto replies, of course I am. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Don't take me for a wimp. I'm completely fine. But as soon as he says that, you hear pop, 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 and continuous popping and grinding sounds appear within his body. As blood starts to leak from his ears, it starts to leak from his eyes, his nose, and his mouth. And then Naruto looks up at the Anbu. Okay, maybe I'm not okay. As Naruto immediately falls down face first. So yeah. So, let me explain what happened. Naruto has been forcing chakra throughout his chakra points. He's been trying to forcefully keep himself awake. When you're at a point where fatigue is really trying to force you to go to sleep and rest, like your body is actively trying to stop you from doing anything and trying to force you to go to sleep and rest. When that happens, regular people, they would just listen to their body and fall asleep and pass out as soon as they get the chance. But people who try to force themselves to stay awake with chakra, it's not good for the chakra coils. As it happened, Naruto has busted his chakra coils. As when he busted them open, well, that's what the popping and cracking sound was. He busted them open and keeping them open. Now, for the side effects of doing this is that he cannot use chakra to the fullest extent as he used to, but he can still use it as a strength enhancer at some points. Like, if he needs it, he'll use the chakra in strength. But overall, he can't use jutsu, he can't use anything else but strengthening himself. Strengthening his body, like healing himself. Healing himself and also strengthening his body are the only two things he can do with chakra now. Any further, if he tries to keep himself awake again like he did, it's only gonna damage him further until the point where he can never use chakra ever again. So, as Naruto falls down on the ground face first, he is passed out. His chakras are screaming in pain, in agonizing pain. So yeah. Anyway, that's what happened to Naruto. Now, we come back to the Hidden Leaf. As the Anbu rush Naruto to the hospital and Sasuke, as Sakura goes to Sasuke asking what happened, the Anbu says that Naruto was successful in bringing back Sasuke, but not in the complete great condition. As she is angry at Naruto, as she asks, where is he? He hurt Sasuke so much, I just asked him to bring him back. Not near death. So, yeah. As they say that he's in a separate building right now. He's at the Hokage's personal healing chamber. He doesn't Hiruzen Sarutobi does not trust anybody else with Naruto's healing when he's beaten that bad. One time, a doctor tried to poison Naruto while he was unconscious, but the Anbu Kakashi saw it coming and knocked him out, and they executed him for it. After that, from that day on, Naruto would be personally tended to by Hiruzen if he ever got beaten to that extent. So, they bring him to the Hokage's personal healing chambers, and they bring in Naruto saying, Hiruzen, Hiruzen, or Lord Third, we need help. Naruto's been beaten, or Naruto has nearly been killed. As Hiruzen is saying, oh my god, bring him into the chambers, now, now, now. As they hurry to the healing chamber. But, yeah. As, as they bring him inside the capsule, they put him inside. As chakra or a substance starts to leak inside of the chamber. This would be a somewhat form of a healing chakra. And, yeah, a healing chakra that would go throughout his points. As the chakra would try to go inside and fix him, which was successful. The chakra was able to successfully get inside and start doing its magic, working around, making sure that this is correct and that is correct, making sure that there's nothing wrong, all of that. So yeah. So yeah. Hang on guys, I'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back. So yeah. Now where was I? Where was I? No, where was I? Ah yes. I think we were on where Naruto is just brought to Hiruzen's office and personal healing chamber. Yes. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, after Hiruzen has been asking what happened, the Yambu say that all that they got from Naruto was him saying mission success. So yeah. Afterwards, when Naruto awoke, or after a while, the council meeting would happen. The civilian council would ask for Naruto to be banished and never to return. And the Shinobi Council would vote on this as well. They wouldn't normally vote for their weapon to be pushed away, but the Anbu did sense a little bit of Kurama, or should I say, Kyubi chakra from Naruto, saying that they should banish him for a little bit and then, like, get him afterwards, like after a few years. Or you know what? I'm gonna change something. Just retcon this. Instead of Hiruzen, it's Tsunade. Yeah. Yeah, that would make more sense. It's Tsunade, not Hiruzen. Hiruzen died. I don't know what I was spouting about since I realized my own, like, mistakes. So yeah. Anyway, as that would happen, Tsunade wouldn't be like, she would be totally against this. Like she wouldn't want Naruto to be banished and then all that and this. So yeah. So anyways, after Naruto has been well rested, healed up, he would have these three gash marks, these three gigantic gash marks on his body. This gash mark on his shoulder going from the top shoulder all the way down into his armpit or on a little bit off to the side towards his pec. Towards his pec on the left side. No, not on the left side, the right side. The right side of the pec or the right pec or chest. On the right side, there's this big gash going from the collarbone all the way down to the bottom of the pec, coming close to the abdomen, but ending right where the chest would end. Ah, man. Kind of hope that this will go away after a little bit. Uh, man. I hate doing what ifs when I'm sick. But if it's for your entertainment and if it keeps bringing in more subscribers, I'll do it. I love doing this. I could call it my job, but I probably wouldn't be like there all the time since I'm taking like a weeks upon weeks to upload. I'm not like constantly uploading a day or an hour, so yeah. But let me ask you this. Should I pre-record some videos? Like, pre-record? Like, record some good videos, store them away, and re-upload all of them on one day? That's my question to you. If that's a thing I should do, let me know. But if you guys want me to keep doing what I'm doing like this, I'll be fine with it. But yeah. So anyway, after that, uh, so, yeah. So afterwards, Naruto, or, yeah, after Naruto got better and was good enough to get up, Tsunade would do one thing before she would announce that he was banished. She would evaluate him, like, on his health. Like, she sees that his chakra coils are bursted open. They're constantly leaking chakra. Like, they're not closing. They're open. They're constantly releasing chakra no matter what he does. He tries to close his chakra coils, but they keep... The more he tries to close them, the bigger they open. So yeah. And also there is a little secret that I didn't tell you about his chakra coils in his weapons. You'll find out in the future. But anyway, yeah. As, but yeah. After that, she would tell him, I'm sorry, Naruto, but you are been banished. As Naruto would stand there blank-faced. What? Bachan, you're joking, right? I know did what I was asked. I brought back Sasuke as I was asked. I did what I was told to do. What do you mean I've been banished? I'm sorry, Naruto, but the council has agreed that you've been using the Ninetales Demon Fox's chakra too much, and a fear of endangering the leaf. So, the council has agreed that you must be banished for a period amount of time and to come back within a year's time. So, I'm sorry, Naruto. Uh, uh, as he stands there shocked, Naruto, you know this was not my intention. I tried everything to convince them that you are not the Ninetales and that you did what you were told to do. But they were persistent on defending the Uchiha boy. As Naruto, his face is now blank as he says this, as he puts his head down, shadows over his eyes, as he nods his head. I understand. I understand your concern, Bachan. I'll head my way out of the village tomorrow morning. I, I'm... Don't, Tsunade. I know that you tried your best. So, I don't know what to say. As Naruto is really upset by this. So yeah, Naruto would grab his duffel bag. He would grab a duffel bag and he would pack his stuff. Not that he had much. He only had a spare jumpsuit if the first one got destroyed, but this one would be a little bit bigger and a little bit baggier. His coat, instead of being a jacket, it would be a coat. It would be longer, the collar would be extended a little bit, and yeah. And after this, he would put on his new jumpsuit, or should I say outfit, and then he would pack his old jumpsuit and put it inside the duffel bag. He would have kunai and shuriken and some off-brand paper bombs that weren't that powerful but still sold for less the price of the original or 2.0. So yeah. So after all that, he would pack his kunai, his ninja stars, he would pack his exploding kunai, all of that. He would pack the essentials, some food, ramen, instant ramen, some healthy stuff, a few snacks, a snack bar, and whatnot. And all of that, you know? So, so yeah. After all of this, he would finally be ready. In fact, he would actually leave at night instead of in the morning. So after he left in the morning, Donzo was expecting that they would catch him in the morning and bring him back to the Ambu Black Ops base. So yeah. So anyway, yeah. So Naruto would leave in the dead of night without anyone noticing him. So he would leave before the Akatsuki, Itachi, and Kisame would be there, and without anybody noticing him. Like you would expect for the chakra coils to constantly let out chakra, somebody would have noticed him, but amazingly, nobody was really concerned. Like they felt chakra around them all the time, a little bit every now and then, and they were comfortable with the constant chakra release. He left Teuchi and Ayame a message for them and a long letter saying that he left and the reason why he was banished in the first place, and if they wanted to look for him or possibly come and find him and stay with him, he's heading east. Or you know what? No, he's heading north. Or no, yeah, west. He's heading west. He's heading west. No, I think I just found out a little bit something more interesting. He's heading north instead of east or west. He's heading north. Yeah, that sounds better. He's heading north towards the northern wall. So yeah. Sorry if I'm saying the same thing in the same tone of voice. I'm sorry if I'm like sounding the same and saying the same thing. It's just like my mind is just in a bliss. Like it's just wandering, not even thinking of ideas right now. It's just wandering off, thinking of other things. And I'm trying to keep my head straight and try to focus on this what if and try to give you a very interesting and a very like yeah. So yeah. Anyway, after what I would say um a little bit of traveling, like towards the north, it's getting cold because it's the North Pole and the South Pole. Like when you get closer and closer to the south and north, it's gonna get real cold real fast. So he comes across a snow village, like not as big as the snow village in like Naruto or any other what if. No, it's not as big, but it's a small village that is close to like technology and like traditional, you know? Like they make traditional snow outfits for like clans, and they specialize in certain styles for clans. Like they specialize in the Hyuga snow garments and all that stuff. Uchiha, the Uzumaki, Senju, all the clans, the Hatake. So they ask him what clan he's from. He says that he's from the Uzumaki clan or whatever, like playing it off as a joke. Like he didn't expect them to like take it serious. And they say, "Oh, you're from the mighty Uzumaki clan. Well, right this way, sir. Come with us." As he said, "Wait, I was just no, no, no. Please, come this way. We haven't had an Uzumaki in our shop in a long time." All right, I guess. So, yeah. Yeah, anyway, Naruto, he would see that the Uzumaki, like, style, like, it would be red and, like, have, like, a little bit of a swirl in the back. It would be mostly white with a red swirl on the back of the coat, and then, like, snow pants that are fairly thick with a blanketed inside. Like, the texture is like fabric like a fabric blanket. Has anyone had like a fabric blanket? Those things are pretty heavy when they get wet. So, yeah. Anyway, so, anyway, Naruto, he would go off and, like, after getting all of this, like, garments and stuff, he would see that the snow boots come up to his, like, his, kneecap. His snow boots, they would come all the way halfway up his calf, which is the back of the leg, and like snow gloves that would go over the sleeves of the jacket, that would be going around him and coming to his knees. Like his snow jacket, it would have a hood with a fur on the hood itself, and then like little tiny like ropes to like tighten the hood down, and then like a snow mask that would cover his face and have like a fur on the inside, and snow goggles as well. So yeah, he would be up towards the north a little bit more, and then it would get so bad, like the snow, the storm, it would get so bad so quick. So as that would happen, Nar, I, my God, I am having a brain fart right now. I do not know what to say nor how to speak. My God. Anyway, Naruto would see this gigantic black wall in front of him all of a sudden, almost like it just appeared out of nowhere. Like he was like putting his hand in front of his face and looking down a little bit, and then he just said, "Oh, whatever." And then he started running a little bit, and then he smashed his face right into the wall. So, yeah. Sorry if I was silent for a little bit. Uh, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, man. Maybe I should pause for a little bit and like, hmm, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, back to the what if at hand. So, after Naruto hit his face on the wall, he would look up, and this wall would stand up about 200 feet in the air and about 5 meters, or like, if we're talking like American like sizes, it would be like 13 foot thick. 13 foot thick. So you put 13 feet on the ground and measure it, that's how thick the wall would be. It would be made of this strong, super strong and durable type of material. Like you can see like burn marks, starch marks, and like cut marks and like scuff marks covering this entire wall from the very base. But on the top side, it's smooth as ever, like it looks like it hasn't been touched. But on the very bottom level towards the ground, it looks like it has just been beaten, trying to dig through and whatnot, you know? So Naruto would take off his mask, and his goggles would still be on, and he would say, "Hello? Is there anybody there? Hello?" As he would knock on the wall and like scream out, "Is anyone here?" As he says that I'm from the south or east or whatever, you know? So yeah, as you would hear like da-da, da-da, da, da-da, 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 like some type of war horn going off. Like you would hear this war horn go off and then like so yeah. Anyway, as the wall would begin to shake and tremble the land before Naruto, as Naruto would start to panic a little bit and put his mask back on and put his fists up. Like he would put his fists up with a kunai in his hand and like start to panic and shake a little bit. Like he would start trembling a little bit and like fearing what's happening. As it appears to be a gigantic gate. Like the doors would open and these titans would be on the other side. Like titans of mega proportions, bigger than the gate. They would be opening the gate by their hands, one hand on top of the gate and the other hand on the gate itself, pushing, and the other hand on the gate on the very top is pushing as well, opening the gate. As the snow would be pushed away by the gates opening, you would see a lot of locking mechanisms and a lot of like heavy stuff being moved as like Naruto would begin to tremble and fall on his back, like putting his hand in front of his face and saying, "Please don't hurt me." As something unexpected would happen for him, as a lady would put out her hand and say, "I'm not gonna hurt you. Who are you?" As this lady would be, hang on. This would be a, this would be, I don't know what to call her, but this is a crusader, basically. This would be a crusader, or a female crusader, to be exact. or a knight, whatever you want to call them, but a knight. A female knight would put out her hand saying, "Who are you?" As he would say in a cautious voice, My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I come from Konoha on this land." As she looks out into the storm of snow and see that I'm shiver. No, not I. What am I in this like making? What if I was in Naruto? No. As she would see Naruto like shaking and trembling or whatever, as she says, "Why don't you come on this side? It looks like you're freezing." As she puts out her hand, he flinches a little bit, like putting his hand up in front of his face. As she sees this, you see this pole axe in her hand, like this big, gigantic axe. It is a pole axe, like it's a pole, like a spear and an axe. So here's the axe, here's the pole. She puts the pole axe straight up, putting this part down on the ground, putting it in between her elbow, and like on leaning onto her shoulder, going next to her face. She pulls off her helmet, and this is what she looks like. This is what she looks like. Long white hair, a beautiful face, a little bit of makeup, and yeah, this is what she looks like. She looks like an angel, like when you first look at her, like in all of her glory, like hang on, I am having like a difficult time here. Okay, laptop, if you are gonna be such a pain, how about I back out and reinstate? There we go. As first off, she looks like a little bit like an angel. Like if you look at this at the first part, you would say, or what I think you would say, is that is she an angel? Like you would ponder on that thought, but then like shake it off as like she doesn't have wings or anything like that. But she is a crusader or a knight of God. Or whatever, or however you want to take it. But basically, yeah. So, yeah. As Naruto takes her hand. So, yeah, yeah, as he takes her hand and he would ask, who, who is she? She would say that her name is Mary. Her name is Mary. Or you know what, no, that's a little bit too much of a generic name. I would say that, Sophia. Yeah, there we go. Sophia. She would say that her name is Sophia Allegard. So yeah, as She would introduce herself as Sophia Vanguard or whatever, all that. And yeah, so yeah. Uh, as she would introduce herself as Sophia and so on and so on. So, as let's have a little bit of a time skip. So, yeah, after all that, so yeah. Anyway, let's do a little bit of a time skip. As we go by a couple of years, or not a couple, I would say a few years would pass. Or to be more specific, the screen would cut to black and say years later. So yeah, as we come down to a man who is fighting off multiple people at once, and this is what he looks like. As this would be the captain of this squadron training little youngsters. We come to Naruto. This would be Naruto. Naruto is now 19 and coming close to being 20 now. Through the years, Naruto has been climbing through the ranks of knights, becoming a crusader, becoming a paladin, and becoming a lawbringer from For Honor, which I do not own. YouTube, please do not demonetize my video for copyright and stuff. I do not own anything to do with For Honor or anything that is related to For Honor. But yeah, enough about that. He has been trained to the highest quality that of any of the knights have ever seen. Like, he learns quick, like super fast. It ain't no joke how fast he can learn. So yeah. So he's been trained by paladin knights. He's been trained by regular knights, or should I say, a respectable knight. This would be, hang on, let me show you what that looks like. Naruto would be trained by these guys, and occasions, womans as well. He would be trained by these guys and or womans. He would be taught many skills and many combat experienced veterans in the war. He's been taught by many, and he's struck down many with his pole axe, long sword, and or warhammer. He's experienced in many weapons, a short sword, a long one, and a regular sword, or should I say like a sort a short a short sword, a normal sword, a long sword, a pole axe, a regular axe, and then like a few other things. So yeah. So yeah, he would be trained by them with this long sword and a few others being He would be trained by a paladin knight or a crusader knight named Crusader Crusader Mal- Molly. Mully? Yeah, Crusader Mully. This would be Mully. He would reach a very, very old age of 62. He is one of the most combat experienced veteran crusaders to have lived. He has experienced many arts of war, the very viciousness of natures of humans. He has experienced the root of evil itself. But he is also one who believes in his own convictions. One time, he even said while battling against Naruto, he even said this at one point: "Fight me if you wish, but remember this, I'm old for a reason, Naruto." And Naruto knows what the reason is. The reason is that he is brutal. Like, he is really brutal when he was young. Like, it was either you let the world push you around or you push the world around. He has taught Naruto many things, and he has given his word about many other things. One of his conversations with Naruto. Naruto. Yes, Master? I'll tell you one thing about us, Crusaders. We Crusaders kneel to God, and we Crusaders are the only ones who can stand against anybody. Because here is our creed, Naruto. And listen well. He who can kneel before God can stand before anyone. As Naruto sort of took this a little bit to heart, so he became a little bit more of a crusader and like a holy knight instead of being a regular knight and whatnot, you know? So he took being a crusader a little bit serious, but not too serious. Like, he preaches about God and whatnot here and there, sure. But he's not constantly preaching God and his Bible and rule, the sins and whatnot. No, he doesn't preach about that stuff as often as most crusaders do. But when it comes to battle, he'll quote a few words about God and whatnot and humanity, giving that fire in the soul. So he's become one of the most respectable respectable knights to have existed. Like, he's become like a crusader who is respectful and honorable. So yeah. Anyway, here's his crusader knight outfit. This is Naruto in his crusader outfit. The classic cross on the chest, long sword, helmet, and shield. The cloth wrapping around his chest, his waist, and crotch and back. Extreme heavy armor underneath the cloth, and the arms well guarded with armor. Some even wonder how the Crusaders even came up with this idea of armor, because it is next to near impossible to break. And in this world on the other side towards the north, gods, demons, and other realms exist. The Sage of Six Paths himself even forbidded anybody from the west, anybody from the south, anybody beyond the wall of the north. He absolutely forbid them from ever going beyond the wall, because he has experienced many gods, many demons, and many foes that he could not even defeat himself, and that he even said that even some of them could be able or already are able to beat Kaguya without even breaking a sweat. But yeah, I gotta go take a whiz. I'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back. But yeah, where we left off. So after Kaguramo experienced the place beyond the wall of the north, he was absolutely terrified and forbidded anybody from traveling to the other side of the wall. So, yeah. And now, even some gods and even some demons fear Naruto for how strong he is. And Naruto only believes in one god, and that would be Kami. So he would preach about Kami being the ultimate god in his eyes and about how strong he is. And yeah, a demon even said, whispering in his ear, he said, or you know what, I'll just show you what Naruto said and what he said, you know. This is what Naruto said to his fellow knights, crusaders, paladin knights, and even lawbringers. This is what he said to them and what he encountered. He said, "The devil whispers in my ear, you're not strong enough to withstand the storm. And today I whispered in the devil's ear," as we cut to him whispering in the devil's ear, "I am the child of God." Or instead of saying God, he says, "I am the child of Kami, a man of faith, a warrior of Kami." Instead of saying Christ, "A warrior of Kami. I am the storm, the wrath of Kami." Put my little verse on it. And yeah, so after saying that to his fellow comrades and fellow knights, the knights knew that his confirmation and his will never die. As even one crusader knight who has just been recently informed about Naruto, a newcomer to be exact, he asked him about his scars. And Naruto said to the young cadet, he said, "My scars tell a story. They are a remembrance of when life tried to break me, but failed. Life tried to break me down and kill me, but it failed." As he tells stories about his scars and what happened, they ask about the little, like, scars in his arms, in his, like, neck, in his eye, or around his eye, I should say. As he says, "Alright, well, here's the story. I was on the battlefield. 20 to what looked to be around 30 knights, enemy knights, fallen crusaders. They all came forth. And very quickly, let me show you what a fallen crusader looks like. This is what a fallen crusader looks like. Instead of white and red, representing the crusaders and their might, they have fallen to the dark side, and they changed the colors to black and white. And I'm not trying to be like historically accurate with all my sayings and whatnot. Like, this is how I see it. And like, if I'm saying like, oh, these crusaders, they're not like real heroics, they're like super I don't care. In my eyes, if they're righteous and they're good, I'm gonna do them good and like say that they're like heroes, you know? I'm just gonna say that in this timeline, not many, like, they don't have that dark history as of what I'm trying to say. But yeah, anyway, this is what a dark crusader looks like. They follow the wickedness and the evil intents of the devils below. as he tells the young cadets about his journey and about his battle with the fallen crusaders, or our fallen brothers. He tells them about the time that he faced off against 30 of them, and like 20 of them had bow and arrows and like crossbows. But he punched through all the pain and beat them all. From that day forth, that everybody knew that Naruto is a very special crusader who could take down 30 men by himself. And from his belief in Kami, Kami gained even more strength because, let me tell you this, in this world, a god, to be strong, a god has to have a believer. And since Kami has been believed by many in Naruto's world, or should I say beyond the wall, where a lot of people say Kami and that's their god, they don't believe in him hard enough, is what I'm trying to say. They don't believe in him hard enough to like give him absolute strength. But since Naruto has been like preaching about him, preaching about Kami, about how he is the child of Kami and how he is the storm, he will be the wrath of Kami, whoever stands in his guard. He's even given a few advices to like a few cadets, saying that if somebody stands behind you, give them protection. If someone stands beside you, give them respect. But if someone stands in front of you, or if someone stands against you, show them no mercy. And the cadets took that to heart, and they listened to what he preached about standing against and with and behind someone. And the Crusaders have been giving more of a good name because, like, originally, oh, whatever, like, I don't really care about the history and whatnot. The Crusaders in my world are more nice and whatnot. If they weren't nice and, like, really racist or whatnot in, like, whatever type of world, I'm just gonna say they're good people, like, really good people. So, yeah. I'm not trying to be historically accurate with these what ifs and like the timeline and whatnot, the Crusaders, all that. But yeah. So, as we come back to that flashback, so Naruto is facing down 30 dark Crusaders, and like 20 of them have, or no, like not 20, 19 of them have bow and arrows and like crossbows, or like, yeah, bow and arrows and crossbows and whatnot. As they begin to shoot at Naruto, a few of the arrows bounce off, but a few of them stick in because the crossbow gives them more of an oomph, and they got harder tips. Like the tips of the crossbow or a crossbow bolt is more harder and more condensed. Though when you shoot it, it gets more speed and picks up because it's so small and so compact and heavy. I bet they're heavy because they're mostly made out of a little bit of metal and wood. So yeah, I could bet that they're really heavy or not so heavy to where like, oh my god, it's unbearable if I keep holding these. Yeah, I know. They're heavy enough to pick up speed by a crossbow. So yeah. As he explains, when he got shot, a few of them landed in his helmet and stuck through and pierced him a little bit. As we come to that vision now. As Naruto stands there with a few crossbow bolts sticking out of the side of his head and sticking in the front side of his head and inside of his shoulder, as you can see. This one is sticking right out from his collarbone. These two are sticking out from the back of his neck, and this one is like probably piercing his cheek or whatnot because it's sticking inward on his helmet through those little gaps. But yeah, someone lucky enough got through those little gaps and stuck him right in the cheek. and there's like a little like tiny scratch on the side of his face because he was moving it up and down trying to get it out, but he was just scratching himself as he's trying to move it up and down trying to get it out of that little crack. So he just scratched himself as he tries to get it out. So now he has like a permanent scar on the side of his cheek. Those other two crossbow bolts are sticking out the side of the back of his nape of his neck. So he grabs a few of the arrows that were sticking out of his back and just like crushes them. He takes them out and crushes them with his bare hands. He doesn't bother to leave the ones that aren't hindering his movement, which is the three that you see. This one, he got it out a little bit, so it's like dangling. This one isn't really hindering his movement with his arm, but it is causing him pain, but he bites through it. These two, not much in the nape of the neck, so yeah, he keeps pushing through. Like, he rushes towards them, he picks up a random shield, and then he charges forward with his sword in hand, putting his sword down in front of him and ramming whoever was unlucky enough to get rammed by his shield and his sword. So he just barrels through the 30 soldiers and starts just going ham like he is going crazy. So yeah. So like he's cutting off heads, he's slicing up dudes, like he is tearing them apart. He picks up one guy by the ankle and tosses him around and slams him into another knight. He picks up one guy. Yeah, let me just repeat that again because I feel like I didn't do it good enough. He picks up one guy by the ankle, swings him around like Broly, and then slams him right into another person, breaking their back and killing them, and by the sheer force of impact killing the other person that he hit with that person. He grabs another guy by the helmet, putting his hand inside of the eye hole, and then twisting his helmet all the way around, and then by the back of the head with his mini short sword, putting his dagger in between the eye hole, stabbing him in the back. Basically, he twisted his helmet around and put his dagger in the eye hole in the back of the head. The blood's splurting out from the front end, but the back, it just looks like hair at the back. But in the back of the helmet, blood leaks out on the chest of the guy, and he falls over. One guy tries to slice him. Naruto sees his opportunity and slices him right under the armpit and cutting off his arm. His arm still holding the sword. He grabs his arm and swings the hand and cuts that guy's head off that he just cut the arm off of. And then he throws the arm because the arm lost its grip and let go of the sword. So he plays baseball with the hand and slaps one guy. Like, you can literally hear the slapping noise of a meat hitting a hard surface of metal. The fingers on the hand that he just cut off are broken and bent in all weird proportions. And then after that, he throws the arm at another person, hitting them in the front of the face, like in between that gap between the eyebrow and the nose. He hits them right there, breaking their nose, making them bleed out from the nose. And then he goes over to them, ripping off their helmet by his grip, and then grabbing his neck, and then like crushing it slowly. He calls it the hands-on approach. So he grabs the guy by the neck, and since he's been eating healthy and gaining like absolute muscle and getting ripped, like he is big, like he is super tall, like he is 7'7" and 400 pounds. Like he has got some muscle on him. So he picks up the guy by the neck and hoists him up. The guy looks down on him and sees him with a blank face, looking up at him. The guy is like staggering there for a minute, like kicking his legs, trying to kick him in the crotch, but he's like super tall, so he's like kicking his abdomen. Soon after, Naruto just gets tired of it and crushes the guy's throat, snapping his neck. His body goes limp, and with one arm, he throws him away, hitting another guy. The leader of these fallen crusaders see that this is going nowhere and orders a tactical retreat. But it's a little too late, as his entire battalion of 30 men have just been slaughtered. So Naruto comes up behind him, putting his hand behind his back, about to snap it off, as he gets a better idea, as he grabs him by the ankle, and then he turns him, like, he grabs him with his other hand, and his other hand, and he turns his ankle, and they, like, one hand goes right, twisting, and the other hand goes left, twisting. Or you know what? They both go the same way. Like, one hand goes left, the other hand goes right. So he gets a good grip on the guy's, like, ankle. So one hand turns left, the other hand turns right. The left hand turns right, the right hand turns left. And with that combination, he twists his ankle so hard, his bones snap and his leg turns around. His skin looks like it's just been twisted around, like, you know how you wring out a towel or like a cloth? You grab a cloth and you grab both ends and you twist it, and you know how it like squeezes together? That's what his leg looks like. It looks like a wringing out towel. The guy screams in absolute agony, feeling his absolute ankle being crunched and twisted in ways he didn't think possible. So the other remaining crusaders that have fallen, or the fallen crusaders, see this and see how many he's just slaughtered. They instantaneously give up right there, because they do not want to face Naruto. So yeah, as Naruto is done telling his story, as he says, "Those who stand against me, they don't deserve any mercy. Even though that they once were our brothers, they are no longer our brothers anymore, the minute they have decided to stand against us. But I hope that their souls have been released from the darkness that plagues their hearts." As for when he's done like that, like, all of the cadet crusaders are like in absolute awe at his story. Like, somebody is that strong, and somebody who is that unwilling to die and so stubborn to die, like absolutely manhandling people, like picking up one guy with one hand by the ankle and throwing them in another person with such force that it would kill them, is absolute ludicrous to the cadets, but it's true. As some of the other, like, crusaders, they were there. They saw the whole thing unfold. The cadets go to multiple crusaders who were on that mission, and they all said the same thing: do not mess with Naruto, and that it was true what he did on that battlefield that day. It was almost traumatizing to hear them, like, it was almost traumatizing to look at. Some of the crusaders have been through a lot, but seeing that many people get slaughtered by one man and one man alone with that strength is unbelievable. Even the crusaders themselves that were on that mission couldn't even believe it, what they were looking at. So the minute that they were confirming what Naruto said in his story, they know not to mess with Naruto. They know to take every word that he says serious. every single word that he says, they gotta listen to. Like, he has been through a lot, and he has experienced a lot more. So yeah. As when they look for his armor, because the armor that he was wearing wasn't necessarily a crusader's armor, but more or less a spare set that someone had, because his set was being fixed up and like repaired because he had a little bit of a training exercise going. So the armor that he was wearing was like a spare. It wasn't complete, like it wasn't finished and whatnot. It wasn't, it wasn't finished. But still, with unfinished armor and armor that was next to near broken, he was able to take that many hits and that many bow and arrow and crossbow bolts to his body and still live. So yeah. And Naruto even explains a little bit about chakra and what he's been doing with it. He recently found out that he can amplify the sharpness of his weapons with chakra. Like the heat of the blade from chakra can like increase the cutting damage and how fast he can cut someone in half. And like he can like amplify his strength by 10 with his chakra amalgamations. Like he can alternate his like chakra with his abilities, with chakra like chakra related abilities. He can like do a multiple array of stuff. Like he can heal himself, he can heal others, but most importantly, he's become a sage of crusaders, or more or less a thunder sage. Yeah, that sounds a little bit better. A thunder sage. So yeah, he's become a thunder sage. What that entails is that he can control lightning and all forms of plasma energy. Anything to do with electricity or power, he can manipulate with his full power. One point, Naruto even called upon Kami himself to strike down his enemies with his Kami's wrath. So, literally, one point, everybody saw the clouds open up, and Kami himself descended upon the battlefield and threw a bolt of lightning at a bunch of people. The bolt of lightning going straight through all of them in a straight line, electrocuting anybody else that was close to those people, which were around like 20 or 15 people close together. They were killed by the electricity as well. So yeah. So as legends of Naruto were told by the Crusaders and Knights, that he was one of the most extreme prodigies of the Crusaders, the Knights, the Paladin Knights, and the righteousness of the Crusaders and whatnot, like the heroic acts that he takes, like, and all of this stuff. Even one point in a war, a kid came up to Naruto and said hello. After the bloody war, she came up to him like this.